All right, I think, yeah, in case you're hiding from the FBI, you don't, don't worry, you won't be visible. Okay. And so I did give you a bookmark because we're librarians. We love bookmarks. But at least it has some information on the front, but it does have the 10 tools I'll be talking about here. And then it also has the link to the Google slides there. So let's start, and hopefully I'm connected. Or I can just move it here. Okay, so that is all of my information. I know it's a lot. It's okay. So I'm at Almond Elementary. I think it says in the book Oak Park Elementary, but I was there. That's also a school in our district, and that's the school that I was at where we showcased our library program as our signature practice that got us the California Distinguished School Award. But I'm at Almond Elementary now, which is still in Fontana Unified School District. So when I make reference sometimes to things, I will be talking about Oak Park because I was there for 6 years. So this is my first year at Almond, and I actually started September 21st, so kind of around the beginning of the school year. So I'll flip-flop back and forth, but the tools, it doesn't matter where you're at. So that's my website. That's my email, which I think is also on the card. YouTube channel, Twitter, Instagram, and I did finally do a page for my Facebook. But like, oh, some people might go to Facebook and like, where is this Library Queen E? Where are you? So I did do a split page. I didn't put it there, but if you link to my name, the page is there. So today, what we're going to be doing, well, I'm going to be sharing the 10 tips to surviving as a library paraprofessional, hands-on activity to share with your students. So I'm going to kind of show you some of the things that I do in the library, and then questions and answers. But questions and answers will be all through. So the Paraprofessional Survival Toolkit, of course, 10 tips to surviving as a library paraprofessional. The most important asset of any library go home at night, which is library staff. So I don't know who Timothy Healy is, but I saw that quote and I was like, I need to find that man because that is so true. We so important. You are so important. So here we go. So I saw that. Do you ever feel this way? I know I feel this way every day. You just want to hide. You wish you had about 50 arms because you got about 50 things you have to do. You got to put away books. How many of you guys textbooks in your, okay, yeah, we're textbooks too. So you got textbooks, you got library books, you got kids coming in, you got teachers, you got your administrator, you got everybody and their mama, and then you still got to put the books away and do a lot of other things. So I have felt like this many times before. So we are going to talk about how to survive in the school library. So it doesn't matter if you're a new librarian. How many of you guys are new? Maybe this is your first year. Oh, all right. Or you've been a librarian for years. I just thought this was the cutest thing because I'm like, card catalog. We do not do that anymore. So the 10 tips that I'm sorry. The 10 tips that I will be sharing with you today. Let me go back. So creating and inviting space, meeting with your school administrator, supporting classroom instruction, integrating technology, not just read aloud, but we should, well, it would be nice. I know I do incorporate lessons and activities, get active or involved in school organizations, post events that show the library, get organized. That should have been number one, but that's just because I have OCD. So I was like, I want that to number one, but it's no particular order. Connect with other library paraprofessionals and try new things. So I am kind of bummed about this clicker that I paid money for that will not work for me. I know. I know. I bought it on Amazon. So tip, create an inviting space. So this happens to be I don't have any pictures of my new library in there, but this was my old library when I was at Oak Park. And the cool thing is that actually I talked with the principal at one time a couple years ago, and I was like, you know what? This is like the hub of the school. I said, and literacy happens here, and I said it's not just limited to literacy like books. I said you have digital literacy as well. I said we should call this the Literacy Hub. I want to change the name. And so I think he thought I was just pretending at that time, but I was serious. So that's at the front door actually. So it's not the library anymore. It's the Literacy Hub there. But, you know, those are the laptops that were in the back. But if you can see, and I don't know if you can, but I mean, there's parents in there. The parents were in there before school, after school, sometimes trying to get in there when they weren't supposed to be in there. But I think that creating a learning and engaging environment for your students is great. Nobody wants to walk into any place and it just looks kind of drab. When it looks that way, the kids don't want to come in. It doesn't matter if you have every new book on your shelf, but if it's not a place that seems inviting or a place that they want to be in, they're not going to come in. If you relate it to the public library, you know, they have the chairs. If you're in the kids section, they have the bean bags. They have the art on the wall because people are engaged. We're visual creatures. And so it's like, okay, they want to look around. They want to see, you know, I keep quotes on the wall. And then I like it to be very busy. I like colors though, but I like it and animal print and bling bling. So that's even incorporated on my bulletin boards. But I like to keep it busy because that's one thing, you know, the kids will come in and they're looking around, but it does, you know, just one trip does not, they are not able to just read everything that's on the wall. So they want to keep coming back. What else is new? You know, I display student work in there so that they can see, you know, maybe what other grade levels are doing or what other classes are doing. And so this in the front area was like a little place with that had the little sofas and chairs in there, and the teacher actually donated those to me when she retired. The rug, tried to get it a little hip because the kids were like, we're okay, Miss Greenwood. The fifth graders were like, we're big kids now, because it used to be a little alphabet rug. So I was like, all right, let's try to kind of make it cool. But that's the entrance right here. So, you know, when I want parents to come in or the administrator to visit, I don't want them to come to a place just like I don't want my students to come to a library that's boring. They'll be trying to get out of there faster than they came in. And so, and then there were stools in the front too, which was really good. The kids kind of felt, even though it's just elementary, they're like, one kid came in one day and he was like, it's like a Starbucks. I was like, oh, okay. But they like that, and you know, that is just so, they love it because they come in and they're like, it's bright, it's beautiful. Oh, look what so and so's class is doing. Or they have siblings. Oh, you know, they're finding something that maybe their siblings have done. But creating an inviting space that allows the kids to say, oh, you know what? I like it here. Or, you know, creating a nice reading area for them so they comfortable. You know, they're not uptight. They're not uneasy, but it's a place they want to go to, you know. And believe me, the classroom, I know it's to my friends who are teachers, but classroom is boring. It just has standards up and all the other stuff that they have to put up. But creating an engaging place for your students is definitely very important. However, you can do that. All right. Chip, yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes.
Do you have issues with the fire marshal?
No, with all the people. No, I have never had an issue. Yes, I have. I take that back. Let me not lie. But that issue was I was doing a book fair, so one of the containers were kind of situated in not a good spot. Yes. But other than that, no, I have not been shut down, but no problem with fire marshal with anything. Um, so tip number 2, regular scheduled meetings with your school administrator. I don't know. Oh, okay. I was like, what picture do I have up there? So I think that that's very important. I know when I started at Oak Park and even at Almond Elementary right now, you know, the administrator, when I came on board, was like, you know what? And when my door is open, you're welcome to come in if you want to talk about anything. And I remember when I started at Oak Park, that week I walked in the office and I walked by and his door was open. So I went on in. I was like, can I talk to you right now? And he's like, oh yeah, sure, come on in. I said, okay, so thanks, thanks for hiring me here at your school site. I said, now what is your vision or plan for the school library? And he was like, I would like the kids to definitely have their textbooks and then, their books. Okay, that's going to happen because that's what I'm supposed to do. But what's your vision and your plan for your school library? And he was like, I can help you with that. Let me tell you what the vision and the plan should be for the school library. But the thing is that anytime that I met, and after that, and he could see that I was very bold with my words. He decided, you know what, I need to be meeting with my librarian on a regular basis. So after that, we met at least once a month, unless there was some type of special event coming up, and then we would meet more than that. But that was important because when I had that administrative support, then your administrator will back you when sometimes you're being met by teachers that are like, oh no, I can't do that, or no, I don't want to do that, or just forget it. Or I've had those teachers that are like, you know what, I think I'll just skip library. No, you need to come to library, But getting that support is very important because, I know I'm not the teacher's boss, but they do need to adhere and respect the wishes of their administrator. Also, you're able to share your vision of the library program, get what their vision and plan is the library program. Hopefully you guys agree on some things. If you don't, kind of meet in the middle. But then when you have that support also from the administrator, then parents are more receptive to you. The kids are more receptive to you when they see that you have the backing of your principal. And then when you go to your administrator, maybe you need books, or maybe, if you have computers in there, something has broken, you're able to go to your administrator and let them know, well, you know what, this is our plan, or this is our vision for this school year as it relates to the library program, and this is what's happening. Is there some way that we can get what we need? Because the cool thing is that once that happened, anytime that I went and I needed something, I always need something. You can ask my husband, you can ask my boss. I always need something. I always need or want something. But I always went to my principal, even my principal now, who's actually going to get some Dash robots because I'm going to be doing coding with the kids. And I only own one, which is mine. And so I just want them to look and not touch. So I'm like, we need some for the school library. But the thing is that I always went with the information. If I need, yes. Oh, okay. If I needed books, if I needed technology. If I had a new idea, I always went with the statistics. I made sure I did my research before I went and presented. Let me not get too far ahead of myself. I just have to say something, but that's going to be later in the slide. But the whole point is that I went to my administrator, and because of the relationship that we formed, a professional relationship we formed through these monthly meetings, he knew, and now my administrator now knows that, oh, they're not just blowing smoke, or, oh, yeah, right, you need folks here, and always going to need folks here at the library, but they can understand, okay, and then they want to put their support into that, because, there is some money at the school sites, and there is money that can be used, even though we don't have the library block grant anymore, but there is still money that can be used to support the library program. But if you're not giving them a program that they want to support, then they're not going to give you the money. And then also getting that relationship, professional relationship, where you can go and talk, share your ideas, because maybe they know means of the way for you to get the resources that you need that you might not know. But, when there's no sharing, there's no communicating, then how is that going to happen? And then also meeting with your administrator, you let them know what you do as a library. I always say professional. We're all professionals in the library. I'm sorry. Para sometimes doesn't come out. But as a library professional, you let them know what you do when you meet with them. Look, because I know that my principal, there's his little quote. And he had said that actually part of our California school, distinguished school portion, he did talk about that, and then they come out and they interview everybody, parents, teachers, administrators, the people at the district level. They interview everybody to make sure that you are worthy of that award. And that's one thing he had said, I thought the library was just a place for checking books in and out. And I know he thought that from when I first went in there and said, what's your plan for the school library? What's your vision? That, oh, yeah, I want the kids to have textbooks, duh. And I want them to get library books, duh, again. I know that, but what's the vision and the plan? So they sometimes don't realize what it is, what we do. And if you think about it, we're like the only one on the campus. We are the lone ranger, because we're the only librarian there, Teachers, there's a plethora of teachers, all grade levels, but it's just like the nurse. I can't go in there. I can put a Band-Aid on a kid's bump, and I'm like, I hope that'll work. I see that the blood is gushing out from all sides. I don't know anything else to do. But that's because there's just one nurse, They are a lone ranger in their profession on the school campus as a support staff. I know I can't do what the secretary does. Same way with us. We're the only one on our campus. And so we need to let not only the administrators, but the teachers, people who come by maybe from the district to visit, the parents know what it is that we do. And then maybe that'll get a little bit more compassion too. And they're like, wow, these books are still on the cart. Well, yeah, it's just one of me putting all these, 200-something books away. And then how many of you guys are elementary? Oh, yeah. So, you're seeing like all the classes for the whole week. So it's like, yeah, those books are still on the cart. You're right. But that getting those meetings or meeting with your administrator, that opens up that relationship, that conversation to happen so that you can share what it is you do, what it is you need, and then get the support that you need for what it is. Yes, ma'am.
If you're also meeting at the district level, or we have a similar setup in my district where work with your site principal, but then we're a district librarian or library coordinator, and who do you go to? Is there a little
Yes,
chart?
we do. Yeah, so a couple of years ago, that was a couple of years ago.
3-4 years.
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, or a few years ago, I'm sorry, at one time we were under our site, so whoever our administrator was, that was our boss. But then they switched it, and now we're under library services. So even though we're at our site, we're under library services. So yeah, we do have, I want to say probably every couple of months we come together and meet. Like secondary will meet, so the middle and high school, because everybody has different needs. Elementary will meet and have meetings and come together, and then usually somewhere around the holidays or before we go on search and breaks, we all come together and meet. And then also in our county of San Bernardino, our district is part of San Bernardino County, and so we have MLIN, which is Media Library Educators Network. And so that is for all people who serve in the library within San Bernardino County. And those meetings happen probably about 5 times a year. And so then we come together that way. But our district, oh, I go to the site principal, yes. And then I also, depending on what it is, will run it with my district coordinator. That way we can meet in the middle. And then that's another support too, because when they're at the district level, then they have the ear of the people who are at the district. You know, sometimes we don't have that ear because we're at the school site. So yeah, you are welcome. So tip number 3, supporting classroom instruction. So important. Oh, awesome. So this right here, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this. That's why I only put one page. But this is the pacing calendar for grade 3 for English language arts in our school district. And so I just wanted to point out something. Like in week 8, they talk about fairy tales and they examine plot structure, and they focus, they deal with plot structure and a narrative. So here's the thing, as it relates to supporting classroom instruction. I meet with the teachers, and because they have grade level PLCs, that's professional learning communities. Why was I about to say Pacific? I don't know. I'm looking out at that water, and I'm sorry, professional learning communities. So they have those grade level meetings like every other Wednesday, because every Wednesday for elementary, it's minimum day. So I will attend those, not, I usually break it up. Maybe I'll do like K through 2, one Wednesday, and then the next one they meet. I do the upper grades, 3 through 5 are at my new school site, 3 through 6. But I do that able to see, okay, what's coming up? What are you guys doing? That way I can, either pull books for the teachers when they come in, or I can find some resources that I can share with them. But this also, that's your doorway, because when they know that you have those resources, teachers have lots of things to do. And I have a lot of friends who are teachers, and they just have lots of things they need to do. And so sometimes they don't know that you have access to the resources that they need unless you let them know that you have access to the resources that they need. But finding out what they're doing, like I know when I got to my first school site, the gal that was there before me, and that was many years ago when I first started in the district. And when the principal took me around to meet all the teachers in the classroom, everything she always said was, oh, she reads just like, I forget the gal's name that was there. Her name was Paige or something. Oh, she reads just like her. She does voices just like her. Well, I found out that she did SpongeBob voices and Donald Duck. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't. And I was like, well, in my interview, I read a book about Harriet Tubman. I said it wasn't hard for me to just put that little southern twang on some of my words. So I was like, I can't do SpongeBob. I said, and I know I always have this high-pitched froggy sound when I talk. So I said, this is all you're going to get. I might be able to tweak it just a little, but I can't do SpongeBob and Donald Duck. They'll probably sound the same, and the kids will know. That sounds just like your SpongeBob, or doing Donald Duck. sounds just like a SpongeBob. But the thing is that they came in with an expectation that I would be reading like this person was, and I was not. But that caused some teachers to be a little bit hesitant. And I was thinking, like, really? That's all you wanted? Read aloud? I mean, read aloud is great. I love reading stories. But I'm like, you should be utilizing the library for a lot more than just hearing a story. Like, I know you guys have reports, you got units, you got things, different things you do. Like, where do you get those books from? And then I found out, they would just come in and take the books off the shelf anyway. So I'm like, that's a problem for somebody like me who has OCD. Because I'm like, where is my book? Like, you gotta check that out, right? I know you've been used to coming in and taking it off the shelf, but so at that school site, and then I was new to the school district, and I was like, okay, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So I just took a couple of teachers, in a couple of grades. There was a kindergarten teacher, a third grade teacher, and that school had sixth grade. So there was a sixth grade teacher that was kind of really receptive, worked with me. So I would do different things, like different activities with a story, or we would do different lessons that linked to something they were doing in the classroom. And then they started spreading the word when they're sitting around, for lunchtime. And then I remember I had one teacher came to me and she was like, well, how come my class doesn't do that? Oh, because you don't want to come to the library because you think the library is not important. But so it happened through word of mouth. But because I was able to support what they were doing in the classroom, and I mean, it's so simple, even if it's just pulling books off the shelf at first, that might make, their library transition time a little bit easier. And then they're like, oh, you'll do that for me? Well, yeah, that's what I do. That's what I'm paid to do. I will pull the books for you. It's not a problem. Or, at least direct the kids to where they should be going. But so going to the PLCs helped me, as I got on in years, and like, okay, this is happening, so I have to know what's happening. Prior to the, I think I might have it online, the PDF online. But prior to that, when I wasn't going to the PLCs or wasn't invited, I would just give the teachers this teacher collaborative form I have. They fill that out, and if there is something coming up that, like, they do the state, or third grade does city wildlife, and then they have to write a report. Fourth grade, I think, does missions. It's really sad that I know all their things. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have that collaborative form? Do you
Yeah, that.
online?
Yeah, I do have it online. So it is on my website. It's there under library forms. I'm so sorry. Yes. But I use that, and that was my inch in to get teachers to see, oh, she does know what she's talking about, because sometimes that's a battle too. They think, oh, that's just a paraprofessional. So because I'm not a teacher, I must not be well informed. And sometimes I want to say, well, I'm a little bit more informed than you are. I don't say that.
How much time do you have with your classes?
I have 40 minutes. Yes. They're like, oh, no. I want to say when I first started, when I was at Locust, that school that I had to do the voices, I had 30 minutes with them.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it once a week or every other week that you're
Once a week.
Once a week. Okay.
Yes.
You're only on a 7-hour workday, so
Okay. Yeah. And then one thing I do, I know I'm the librarian from the Black Lagoon, but I tell those kids when they first come in, look, you have 15 minutes to find your book and check them out. Because, I'm like, well, if I have you guys for 40 minutes, and then it's taking you 30 minutes to find are you for real? Oh, no, this is not working for me. I got a little timer and everything. It has green light. It has the yellow light and the red light. I'm like, oop, time's up. You don't have a book in your hand. You have to check it out. Then they know they have to come back on their own time to get a book. But at the beginning of the year, I spend like a whole month doing library orientation, Dewey Decimal, how to find a book in the easy section, the fiction section. We go through alpha order and everything. So I tell them, after August, from September, and then for my kids who are like fifth going to sixth or fourth going to fifth, they're like, this is just a repeat for you. So like you should be a shelf pro. You should know exactly where you need to go to look for a book or use the computer. I know you guys are like, she is mean. But after a while, when they're like, can you tell me where this book is? I would like to, but I can tell you that card catalog can tell you that in this video. So go use the card catalog, and then if it doesn't work, you can't locate it, then come back and, I'll help you. But one thing I try to let the kids know, or I ask them, what do you do when you go to the public library? Like, you just get any book off the shelf, or you just, wherever my hand falls, that's what I'll get. No, do you use the computer? And they're like, oh yeah, same thing we have here. It's just a little bit, it's a different program, but you use that and, I'll show you. And so that 15 minutes, now it takes them like 10 minutes to find a book. They know exactly where to go, but I'm like, okay, if I'm talking big and bad and I'll support your classroom instruction and I'll read really good books, or I have the resources that you want, or let me talk to your class, or, even share a story, then I cannot be using up, 30-35 minutes to wait for you guys to get a book. And actually what I do, the first 25 minutes, I'll do the lesson or story activity, and then the last 15 minutes they check out books. Yeah, but far and few have had to come back on their own time to get a book. Now they come back on their own time to swap out books because they're like, I'm done reading, I want a new book. And I do let them do that because I'm like, wow, that's kind of an injustice. If you're a really good reader and you gotta stay with these 2 books for the whole week till you come back next week, But yeah, 15 minutes. Librarian for the Black Lagoon. Sorry, bye. Your class is done at it. And so that's checkout time too, because I don't want it to be like, I can't say you have 15 minutes to find books and then it's going to take me like another 7 to 10 minutes to check the book out. Find the book, check out. Because that last part of the time is just find books and check out anyway. So I just go sit down. I sound kind of lazy, but the kids are very good at using the card catalog. You and then you, yes ma'am.
I was just curious about like overflow or overflow school, so we're constantly having kids come in and kids
Oh
come out.
yeah.
How much time do you spend evaluating and showing them the library and
Oh yeah. I know. Every once in a while I'll touch on it once, maybe a class has come in and I'm like, they're like children of the corn. I don't know. Did you guys just forget everything that we just talked about? So we'll hit it throughout the school year. Maybe I'll just do an activity just to see that they know how to, or do like a scavenger hunt. Make sure, okay, we know what we're doing. Yes, ma'am.
and when you have your classes,
The teeth.
Yes and no.
Okay. Yes and no. So let me not even be a liar. Baby, what's my time? 40 minutes. And 7 more comments. I promise I'll get through them because I was thinking like 90 minutes. But I promise I will get it. But yeah, some do and some don't. Now here's the thing. Like at my new school site, even though I've been there since September 21st, at first, yeah, the teachers came in. Now they kind of feel a little comfortable. So, but I've had, let me just be honest, I've had those teachers that have taken advantage. Like, I'm like,
maybe run a copy.
I don't mind that. And usually because of the relationship I form with the teachers, they're like, oh, okay, you're in the library, it's Miss Greenwood's show. So they call me Greenwood. Leggette. The kids to say. So Greenwood is my maiden name. And some kids don't even get that. I have one student say, hi, Miss Green Hollywood. Yeah, the teachers would be like, we're in the library, Miss Green, show me. Okay, yes, ma'am.
So you have about 15 minutes for the students to
Yes,
and you want them to use the online catalog.
yes,
How are they accessing that? Category computers?
what I wish. Well, at my school site that I'm at now, I have one laptop. It's sad, and that's actually it's my laptop. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not using my laptop because I have my computer. I need to put this out there for the kids. But there is a computer lab attached to the library. But I just have that one laptop. Now at my school site prior to this, when I first started, there was two desktop computers. When I left, they're 19. So, but that came through pushing. We need technology in here. This is not happening. Okay. So my time person. So supporting the classroom instruction, because I know you guys were like, what is she talking about? So I look at, of course, at the district pacing guides. I do that because, at first I wasn't connecting with a lot of teachers, but I want them to show, oh, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, oh yeah, they'd be surprised. Oh, how'd you know we were talking about insects? Because I'm the bomb.com. I know everything. That's how I know, but I was looking at the district pacing guide. So I could see what they were doing, being included in the grade level PLCs, showcasing resources in the library. So that comes with the, pulling the resources that the teachers need, or maybe if they're going to be studying Native Americans, maybe you put some of those books out kind of on display for the kids to grab, pulling resources. Yes, support other core subjects, because I just don't like to leave it linked only to English language arts. That's my other thing. I don't want people saying, oh, well, the library's just good for books and for reading, so it must be only English language arts. No, actually, I got stuff that will support your science and support your social studies. And if we get real lucky, support your math. So, so I try to support other core subjects. And then I do that through read alouds, lessons, and activities that support student learning. And so one thing that I do, no, let me move on. I'll share that later. I'm sorry. So, tip 4, integrating technology. And that was the backside of the library at the school I came from. And so there was 12 laptops just back there. And in that cafe, kind of looked at the kids, the Starbucks area, there were more laptops up there, and then the 2 desktops that were originally there. But I think integrating technology is definitely very important, because there are some skills that they're not getting in the classroom, like digital citizenship. Like, when do you guys talk about this? How to use online resources correctly, or learning how to do research. I know it's like, well, it's just elementary, yeah, but they gotta write papers, so they need to learn sometime. And then if you think about it, in middle school, it's like a hit and miss. And I'm sure my friend who's in middle school right here can kind of, or those that work in middle school, it's like, okay, it's not every week you're seeing the classes or the kids. So, I don't want to leave the burden on my friends who are at the middle school to be having to just starting to teach kids how to do research. Also, digital literacy. At what point I need resources to be able to show the kids these things, teach them these things. And then, you got the ebook. You got all kinds of things where technology is integrated into a lot of these kids' lives. you know, so why not have some integration of technology into the library? But these are the things that keep people like, wow, the library is a happening place. That's where I want to be, you know. So I believe in integrating technology. How I got a lot of the laptops, well, um, when teachers, but every teacher has a laptop, and their laptops get switched out or updated way before anybody else's. And so I went to the principal and I was like, well, so I know 6 of our teachers are getting new laptops. What are you doing with the old ones? Because they're not junk, so what are you doing with them? And he was like, that's a good, actually, let me tell you what you can do. You can put them in the library. And sure enough, that's how I inquired the first set. But when the kids start saying, oh, wow, there's computers in the library, you know, they just, because even in the classrooms, each classroom just had 2 desktop computers. And so, but I have more that's available to the kids. And when the area that I work in, even now and then, the kids don't always have access to computers. Smartphones is a different thing. Like every kid has one of those or an iPad. But computers very limited. And then for some reason, I don't know why people buy a computer but don't buy a printer, because then that becomes limited. I'm like, you have a computer, you don't have a printer. Well, how do you print your paper? You know? So, you know, just having that access where kids can come, and those that work at the high school, I'm just like, what? Yeah, you know, the kids are in there because they don't have a place or anything, device at home where they can type a paper, print it out or something, or surf the web. And then this school that I'm at now at one time did AR, but the school prior to that, they were heavy AR, so at least I had the computers available for the kids to do AR. So when the administrator saw that, and then the parents were like, what, there's computers? Then I was able to, because I was on school site council, but I brought it to them. Okay, we need more laptops now and I figured, you know, I brought the estimates and everything. Look, you should get a laptop because it's wireless. That was just a couple years ago, right? Yeah, we're a little slow to get to where everybody else is. So we just went wireless. And so I said, well, it's better to have the laptop because then the kids can kind of move around with them and they're not restricted. So, and then I said that it would be cheaper to invest in the laptops than the desktops. So that's how I was able to get the more. And then PTA actually purchased a couple as well. So that's my plan for where I'm at now. And the principal very much sees that we need technology because she is coming from LA Unified School District, and she was like, wow, what's happening? At the school I just left, we were one-to-one with iPads. Oh, no, not here, but I believe in your dream and we can get there. So integrating technology. So it allows you to stay relevant, start small. That's what I did with getting the teacher laptops. That's what I'm doing now with my one little laptop that I have. But it allows you to also share a variety of websites, apps, programs. I do have tech days, and that, well, that just helps me out because I don't have enough computers. And so the kids are able to bring their smartphones and then they're able to do research or look up something, or we have done a Kahoot with, and so they connect using their cell phones or their smartphones, and then look at other types of technology because it's not just the laptop, but a projector. That's technology, you know. I need to be able to show these kids something. Yeah. They can't hook up to the Wi-Fi, but with the Kahoot, I never really had a problem, or then surfing the web. But like when I'm at work, I'm sorry, mine is on the 4G, so it will connect to the, not through Wi-Fi, but through my 4G. phones are better than mine. I'm so sorry.
What was that thing you called it?
Oh, Kahoot. Oh, yes. Oh, shucks. I love Kahoot. You got to talk to me if you have time. Kahoot is the bomb.
I will check with you after.
It's good. So, not just read alouds. Praise the Lord. Not just read alouds. But this is a way, yeah, look at those poor kids. Please. More than just read a book to us. But I think this helps. And I do read a lot of stories. I even read stories to the 5th and 6th graders, but I do connect it to some type of lesson or activity. When I get back, I told the 5th and 6th graders, and sometimes I share the same story. I'm going to read, who's ever read or heard of Henry's Freedom Box? Okay, so I'm going to share that with them because it's just a great book. And I told them, okay, Black History Month, I'll share a book. And so I try to bring diversity into it because I don't always want to show, like, when it's Hispanic heritage, I don't always want to read a book on Steve Chavez. I'm like, we need to let you see some different people, you know, that are role models. So I told them, I'm going to share Henry's Freedom Box with you when I get back. I'm sorry, really, I don't know. So, and I have a little box that I cut a little hole out of and try to decorate it with duct tape, but I'll have the box, you know, sitting there. I'm gonna hand them little index cards, and then after I share the story, I'm gonna ask them, well, what freedoms do you enjoy? Let's talk about what does it mean to be free or have freedom, you know? After they share, then they are going to write one freedom that they enjoy having, and then drop it in the box. That's it. That's all. But now I just haven't just read a story, so I'm not boring them like these poor little children. You know, I'm integrating, doing something else with it because I had one teacher, man, I don't know if a librarian was mean to her, which I don't believe that's even possible, but like she did not like to come to the library, and I felt bad because her kids, her students had friends in the other classes that were like, they're doing this in the library, why aren't we? You know, and then finally she came and she's like, oh wow, I didn't know you were doing this. But yeah, just come by and see me. We are doing that, you know, but this is definitely important. If your job hasn't been on the line, oh, you are very blessed. But our jobs have been on the line several times. But when you are doing so much more than just letting it be like the libraries of the 1800s, 1900s, when they just came in and checked out books, and you know, there's spider webs growing on the books because nobody likes to visit the place. When you're doing more than that, and if that ever happens, or if it's anything, just for getting support to get resources in your library, when you have the parents backing you, students backing you, teachers backing you, because they're like, oh no, you can't just get rid of the library. We need the library, you know? Because I can tell you, okay, she's like, we need to wrap it up. Shut up and get to your next slide. But when you, I know, she's wonderful. She'll never want to facilitate anything for me again. But when you are doing so much more than you are creating library culture at your school, which is so important because you work in the library. So of course, just like the teachers, you probably think they're the wrong.com. We think the library is the best place in the world. Why are you not in here using it? You know, so some of the things that I did, who's ever read Manana Iguana? Some are like, please, we're middle school, like, we don't, that is something. But I used this book this year with the 4th graders. It's kind of like, what was the little chicken that wanted to plant and nobody wanted to help him? Oh, thank you. Isn't that beautiful that I told? Oh my gosh. Well, this is kind of like this, but the little iguana wants to have a fiesta, and come in. And then we're doing other things connected to that. And then you know what else that does? That helps me not trying to scramble around and find a book that I gotta read every week. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna read? So we did Mañana Iguana. Read it the first week, and we talked about the characters in it, you know. And then I said, okay, next week when you come in, we'll talk about characters. So the next week they came in, and we did this little character study paper, but it helps the teachers because they're also talking about character study in the classroom. And so we talked about the characters, and so they had to pick one of the characters that they wanted to focus on in that story. And then, you know, I have there's a character trait page in the back. There's a little character traits page just to kind of help them, but they can keep all this stuff. Now, the third week came in, they had, okay, whatever character you pick, and I let them know, okay, that's the pick, that's who you're going to focus on. Well, I did, you know, I haven't read everything, and I know it's wrong. So this was a little flip chart. Don't know what anybody else called it, but that's what I called it. So they had to list 4 character traits of their character that they chose. Then, here we go, link it in the Common Core, because you know you have to show proof of why you're saying it. When you flip it open, now, okay, so I chose leader, and I chose Iguana. Now I have to show, according to what happened in the story, so I'm showing evidence from the text. Why do I think that, why did I choose leader? You know, and then each and every one they had to, and I should have brought kids examples, because you know I'm not blind, but kids pictures this. And then they have to list, you know, everything, reference it to the text. Why do you feel this way? I see you around the change. And then if they had time, they could draw a picture, but not all the kids had time. And then they chose different characters. And then that took 3 weeks. And then the month was, you know, over. We're going into the next month. But you're keeping it relevant, doing more than just a read aloud. Second grade, I love Knuckle Bunny and I love Lone Building. I read this with second grade. And then next week, and then we talked about the pictures. Well, what did you notice about the pictures? And if you haven't read Knuckle Bunny, well, in Knuckle Bunny, the background pictures are real photos, but the characters are cartoons. Now, this is second grade, but they can see that. They're able to identify that. And they talk about story and, you know, characters and different things in second grade as well. Okay. So the next week when they come in, I said, well, I have a special project for you, and you're going to be creating yourself as a cartoon character. They're like, what? You know? And so what I do is I take a picture of the library. So that's the real photo. I run it through the copy machine, and then they go and they create their cartoon person. So there's this favorite in the library. But the kids love it. So now that's about 2 weeks there, you know, and then I got to think of something else. But the kids are staying engaged. They're keeping connected. The teacher's like, oh my gosh, can you come in my classroom and just teach for the rest of the day? Oh, thank you. That's not in the library. And then the cool thing is that I'm hanging this stuff up all over the library. So that's when the kids are able to, oh, wow, that's cool. I mean, the fifth grader's like, I want to do that, you know? Well, we read a little kid's book, a baby book, with 5th and 6th grade. They talk about plot structure. So we did something with, and I actually showed them a short, it's like a 5-minute animated movie called Alma, or Alma. And then, and it's a silent film, but we talked about plot structure, and then they cut these little things out. Oh, this is actually a kid's example. And then they had to, just like the other one, but I printed this offline. I'm not just spectacular. And then the kids had to, you know, give evidence from the short film we saw the week before. But this is 2 weeks of stuff. Now I gotta, you know what, but they're learning about plot structure in 6th grade. How can I introduce plot structure? You know, and even talking to the kids about something, but they really like to do activities. And they're like, wow, we can do this in the library. And then, you know, for our district, sometimes it's far and few that they have an opportunity like to do art. Like, they're like, art. It's really sad when I see those kids pick up scissors, and I'm like, you have used scissors before, right? But no, we haven't, because we don't do art in school anymore because it's Common Core and standards and testing. But so now the library is a place where we can do that. And the cool thing is, you hear this thing about maker spaces. Anytime they're doing an activity, creating something, they're doing a maker space. What? And I don't even have a 3D printer, but it is a maker space because a maker space is just creating something. Sometimes I have the kids work in groups, so now you're collaborating and you're creating something. Maker space all over the place. So I think that is pretty cool, and the kids like it too. So engage your students, meaningful read aloud. That's what I use the picture books for, and then have some type of lesson or activity go with it. Activities to accompany your book, lessons, maximize your time with your students. And that's why I was talking about, you know, we do 25 minutes, and then the last 15 minutes we're doing book checkout. You know, I do still push that books are important. You need to be reading. And so tip 6, get involved, active in school organizations, and I'm going to speed through that. And I listed some of the different ones that we have in our school district. PTA or PTO, very important. That's the parent teacher organization. Well, really parent organization, because sometimes the teachers are not showing up. But this is a great support. If you have their support, they definitely have more money than I have. But if you come to them and you're like, you know what, there's something I want to do, or there's something that I need, but the school can't get it, sometimes PTA can do that for you. But so be a voice, a face. I paid my $5 as a PTA member. I showed my face at the meetings, you know, gave my input when asked. And so SSC, School Site Council, very important because they make the decisions for the school, and they're able to look at the school budget. And I got on School Site Council the first year I got to Oak Park, and at that time, there was money for school library. There was the library block grant. So I'm looking over the money. We're talking about it, and the principal, he said, oh, you know what, because they have not, if they want to sweep money into a different, account, then they can. So he was like, okay, you see this money listed here? And it was next to library block grant. He's like, well, it's going to sweep into the Title I. And I was like, well, I said, let me tell you what the library block grant is. So I informed all the teachers and parents of our school site council, and I said, and the library needs that money because collection is a little dated, and so we need to update the collection, probably get some furniture in there, or I need decorations or something. So actually, that money is spent for the library. So we need that. And sure enough, we got that money for the library, but it continued on because the parents and the teachers, administrators were starting to see what I was doing in that library. Even now, when I go to my administrator and I share, this is what I want to do with the kids when I did the coding. I showed her my little robot. She was like, that is amazing. She was like, I would like to get 3 more of those robots. Would you mind doing coding with the kids after school? Oh, no. Yeah, I'll do that, but the money is there, but I don't know if I don't get involved, or I don't serve, or I don't see. ELAC, that's English Language Advisory Council, same as School Site Council, except they do that meeting in Spanish. So I was a part of that too, because I speak Spanish. So I'm sitting right here too, just in case you try to say something. And that's you're gonna sweep this money. No. And then they usually have a leadership team, and that's usually a teacher from each grade level represents, and they meet. So I try to be a part of that Yes, I am, and then I always bring my information. Like I have backup saved on that computer, and I'm like, oh, meeting, print this out for this specific thing, you know. So yeah, I do because I don't want to just be saying we need this, but I don't have any, anything of that. Well, I do a little bit of both, but please don't follow my don't follow my example. But I do present it at school site council, which you are able to, if even if you don't serve on school site council. I did for quite a few years, but you can go and you can speak. Just if you're not serving on it, you're just not a voting member. But once people have heard your spiel, they will probably have compassion on you because you're like, your kids go here too. So you need resources with it.
What kind of professional development do you get? Do you get offered it, or do you seek it out yourself to know how to teach coding or teach research and those sorts of things?
Yeah, I seek it out myself. I know my boss like, but it's a little bit of both. But the cool thing is when we do have our district meetings or that inland, which is the county one, if people have been somewhere like when we do CSLA, we'll have a meeting in a couple of weeks, and those who have attended from our school district are able to come back, share out, and give the information to people. So sometimes that's how we do it. But yeah, I seek a lot on my own, and I'll say it's 50-50. Um, okay, advertise, showcase the school library. Oh, I don't know if my little pictogram will play, because that was the celebration school library month. That's in April. Did a huge thing, and actually the principal purchased the cake and refreshments. Miss Claudia did, library services did, and then PTA was there to help me, and then I had wrote a proposal for first books, and I think I had some leftover that I got from the Molina Foundation, so I was able to get each kid a book when they came, but I had just like little centers. Like they did little activities, but it was for the parents and the kids. I was like, don't leave your kids, come with your kids and stay with your kids. But the parents enjoyed it too. I'm gonna see if this will play. Since it's a pictogram, I only have like 15 seconds, so the pictures flash pretty fast. Um, Yay, that was very fast. But so you can advertise and showcase your school library using book fair. Back to school night. I go to back to school night. Now that's on my own time, but if I want to be telling these parents and these kids the library is where you need to be, come to the library, visit the library, use the library, then I try to go above and beyond for my school staff and students. So back to school night, but the administrator gives me an opportunity to speak and talk to parents for a moment about the library and what the library offers, stop by the library. And then also where both schools were situated, my previous one, the one I'm at now, they are not that close to a public library. So I am sometimes the only access they have to books, to resources, to technology. So I want to make sure I promote that family literacy events. We just finished doing one, and those are always good. Book drives or giveaways. I'm able to do that because I get the books from the Molina or the first book, and then I give those away. Just another way, and I do a book swap. We're not really swapping books because the kids give me nothing back, but I give them books, and I do that towards the end of the school year, about 2 days before we're out, and that's how I promote summer reading. you need to be reading. Read Across America, and of course, public library card drive. That was pretty cool. Had the public library come out a couple of times, even though you're like, oh, you just mentioned it's not close by. But if they have an opportunity to go, I want them to be able to get resources from the public library as well, using social media. And I do have a Facebook page and an Instagram page for my school library that connects the parents and the teachers, administrators, and even the students who are old enough to at least do the Instagramming. And then book club, or this year I called it literature circle because it kind of has a different feel to it. But these are different ways to advertise and showcase the school library. Tip 8, get organized. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I have to be organized. But so this is a monthly calendar. It lets the teachers know what I'm doing in each grade level. And if that wasn't in the way, it says close reading activity for grades 3 through 5 down there at the bottom. But I send this out to the teachers at the end of the month, so they already know. It's pretty cool because teachers will hang it up in the classroom. But this lets them know what we're doing, what activities we have planned. But that's not really for them. It is, but it's also for me too, because I have to stay organized and know what I'm doing. It is so embarrassing, at least for me, and I have done it more than once. When I get ready to go read a story because I'm kind of scrambling around, the kids are like, we heard this already. We just read it last week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. That's sad. I just read it last week. I picked it up again. So this also helps me to be organized. And I know a lot of people are like, what? I don't have to write a lesson plan, but it helps me and saves me a lot of time. Like I said, when I do the story, maybe at the beginning of the week, middle of the week, or month, then if I have an activity connected to that, then I have a whole month already done, and I'm moving on to the next month. So getting organized is very important. I probably have like 5 minutes left. So lesson plans, library helpers. Yes, if you're able to get helpers, and those are just the students. I only use this year the 5th and the 6th graders because I've said it several times. I have OCD. So I'm like, oh my gosh, they didn't put that book back in the right place. Okay, I'll just handle it. And then keep a calendar. But library helpers do come in handy. So this is a way to kind of you get organized. You have the library helpers kind of frees you up to do other things as well. I am tip 8, but I said I had 10 tips. Tip 9, connect with other library professionals. Like we are doing now, that is definitely very important. If you have an opportunity to go to conference, to meet with the people within your district. I know for myself, I think I put my website up there, but it's really a blog, but it does have other stuff on there. And then I have like a live binder, and then I have a wiki. But the thing is that that's one thing that I see lacking sometimes is like, okay, well, I need help. I need help. And so how can I get it? You know, how can somebody help me? And then sometimes it's like, okay, how are your parents? Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, what are you doing that for? Activity then? Because it's coming to the library. But my philosophy, I feel, is it doesn't matter if it's a TL or a para in the library. The whole point and purpose is that we're there to service those kids, make the library relevant. So I don't believe that library services should stop, or a good quality library program should not be at every school site just because there might not be a TL or there might not be a TL para. Whoever's in there, I mean, even the parent volunteer, what are you doing to keep this place relevant? You know, so getting connected with other paraprofessionals. And then, oh, yes, do social media, blogging, live binders, wiki spaces, PD within county or school district conferences, webinars. I do webinars too, because I'm like, I need help. Once again, it's like, I need help, but what is that like? Who is doing something? I need something, you know? So I try to do the webinars to be relevant and try new things. I think that's always important. Try something new. Get out of your comfort zone. Okay, being able to present 2 minutes, being able to present stuff to the kids, lessons, activities, at first, you know, and even sometimes resistance from the teacher. Because like, well, I'm the teacher. Well, yeah, but not in the library. And these kids need something else than just the stuff, you know. So I had to get out of my comfort zone, you know, so that I'm like, okay, or even approaching the administrator and say, hey, I need this or I need that. Getting out of your comfort zone, because sometimes, you know, it's like, okay, go talk to the principal, you know, my principal is, you know, but got to get out of the comfort zone. Putting yourself out there, you know, having to get up. Maybe you're shy. I have to get out of my comfort zone to get up there. And I like to talk. And I'm like, I need to be like, I can't do that. No, I only have 20 minutes. No, I can't. So I'm like, what am I going to do? But getting out of the comfort zone. Because you know what? When you get out of your comfort zone and try something new, you might be doing something that somebody else is kind of resistant to do. Once they see that you're doing it, they're like, hey, I can do that too. So that is definitely important. So, and then all trying something new with your books, with your resources, the delivery of your information. This year for my orientation, I did a video. I did like a video. I had the ghettoest green screen because that's the only way I could film it on my iPad. I had like all my green shirts, green's my favorite color, a green board so that I could and it made me look like I was inside of this newsroom. But that's how I delivered all the information for the library orientation. And then it was really good because I'm like, well, I read all week and I like that's my voice. So bam, just here, pop this video on, and this is the library orientation. And then we talked about it. And I did the Kahoot to make sure that the kids were paying attention to it and gave them a pencil for a prize, those that got that all of them right or got most points, sorry. And then making connections we're doing here. I hope while you're here this weekend, and tomorrow's the last day, but hopefully today and tomorrow, and then if you've been here all week, you've been making connections, connecting with other people, other paraprofessionals. What are you doing in your library? I'm going to steal your idea. Sharing is caring. We don't call it stealing. I think that is it. Review, bam, what we did. We talked about all those 10 things. So hopefully you think about what you can take away from this presentation, besides that Erica talks a lot. And what does your survival plan look like? Thank you for your attention. And I would say now any questions, but that's why I kind of had the questions. But does anybody have any questions? Oh, a Kahoot is this. Yeah, can I get the little draw for the, oh, did everybody get the little tickets in? Yeah. Okay. So I know sometimes it's hard to get resources in your library. So I did purchase some books that I thought were kind of new, and I did some for elementary, some for middle, some for high school. So either you can take it if you win for yourself, or you can put it in your library. And then a Kahoot is like an online game. Like if you think of, let me think of a game. Quiz. Yeah, it's an online quiz, but you're able to put it, it's got like music with it. Kids only have a few seconds to kind of, they can use their phones, their computers, their tablets, and then you make up the questions, and then you can set how much time they have. And yes, it's called Kahoot.it. Kahoot.it. Okay, we're gonna. It is free. It is free. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes, it's KAHOOT.it. Yes, ma'am. Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Same number. Okay, I also want to say as facilitator, that I was supposed to say at the beginning, if you want to do a survey or review of this seminar, please go to the online, to the CSLA website, or in the program, there's a QR code you can complete the evaluation.
Yeah. Yes, please do so. I need all the feedback that I can get because I'm in a lot of new things. I'm at a new school site. I'm in a new role on the state CSLA board. So I need all the help I can get. So,
Okay, first one. 3660027.
All right. Yay.
They're all 366, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna read the last three digits. 058.
All right.
Okay, next one. 040.
Don't get one in your level. Maybe somebody will be nice and swap with you.
Next one, 042.
Ooh, it's me. All right. Ooh, sorry. Who was that? Oh, awesome. There you go. Skinny. Okay. Good. And I am far from it.
059.
Yay! There you go.
057.
All right. And I know she's
023.
023. Oh, awesome. Here you go. Yeah.
050.
Oh, there you go.
055.
055.
Going once. 055. Going twice. Somebody that left. Okay. 056.
All right. There you go. Elementary school.
Is that the last one?
Yes. So the first set of 3 books, those were kind of geared towards middle school. The second 3 were high school, and the last 3 were elementary. But I will not be offended if you put it on your home bookshelf because they're all great books.
If you didn't get a bus, thank you. If you didn't get a bus because you came in late or a bookmark, come see me.
And then the informational panel will be back in here, and then I'll have a representative from elementary, middle, and high school, and they'll kind of be sharing their good, their bad, their ugly as a paraprofessional and answer your questions. I will just be quiet and have my pretend mic because I don't have a mic in here. She's gonna be quiet. I gotta say that briefly. Don't get my cat. I want to do a field trip.
Well, I didn't. If you don't, if you guys get that, see, we all have the little ticket. I said that too, but it's sorry, I have to like. I'm not so talking about it.
There's some things that we can have for free right now that just aren't enabled, and one of them is it's universal search, but it's one of those searches where we can add links to embedded databases for free, but it's not enabled.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys. I have a degree in and then in March I'll be done with my master's. Yeah, it's good class.
Yeah, see, we're hearing that too.
Yeah.
The teachers teach, you basically.
Yeah, I know. And